Hi, my name is Shannon. I am a certified yoga instructor. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to go through a very powerful pose, also known as chair pose. In Sanskrit, chair pose is Utkatasana. It is also called awkward pose from time to time, but today hopefully we will learn how to make it a little bit less awkward. So for today's tutorial, I recommend having 2 blocks and also being near a wall that we can use for a little bit of support. So grab your props, lay out your mat, and when you're ready, we'll get started. So the first variation of chair pose that we're going to do today is going to be using a wall. So in gym class, if you've ever done things like wall sits, that work is finally going to come in handy. So you're going to come near a wall and then bringing your seat up against it. And then when you're ready, start to sit your hips back and lean against the wall for a little bit of support. Your feet can either be touching or they can be parallel, but you want to make sure that your knees are in one line facing forward. Good. Now, your back doesn't have to be flush against the wall, though if this is more comfortable for your posture, you can stay here and build up the strength in your thighs. Otherwise, for a more traditional chair pose variation, you'll come forward slightly, still maintaining a very long, tall spine. And then when you're ready, you can reach your arms up, biceps by the ears, soften your shoulders, breathe, hug your core in, and broaden through your chest. Good, maybe you sit back a little bit deeper here, letting the wall still support you. Smiling really helps with this pose because it is a very heating, very active, very energizing pose. Good, stay here for one more breath. And then when you're ready, you can slide right back up, bringing the hands down. Nice work. So the second variation, now that we're a little more warmed up, that we're going to try is going to be with blocks. Blocks are an amazing way to engage the inner thigh muscles, make sure that the feet are hip distance apart, that the knees are parallel, and you can also use them to help activate the upper back and the shoulders. So when you're ready, grab your blocks. We're going to place the first block in between the inner thighs. I like to use it on the skinniest of the widths. And then already I can start to feel my thigh muscles engaging and wrapping towards each other. Good, you're gonna take your second block and you're gonna use the longer width. And this is just gonna help the shoulders be shoulder width apart and the hands shoulder width apart. Good, so I'm gonna face the side here as we come into chair pose. Start to sit your hips back, hinging from the hip creases. Good, you can get your thighs as close to parallel as possible here. You may have to play with the lower spine to create some space. Good, keep squeezing the block on the inner thighs. You can bring your hands to a parallel position. And already the body's doing a lot of work. Maybe you sit back a little deeper, keep hugging the core. Maybe you lift the arms, biceps by the ears. Breathe. Good. Keep squeezing, keep hugging. Remember, this pose is only temporary, so you're not going to be here forever. Maybe you sit back a little deeper, keep creating space in the low back. Keep hugging the blocks, breathe. Feel that power coursing through the body. And when you're ready, stand up, lower the block, and then you can take the other block away. Nice. Now we're going to do a version of chair pose without the blocks and without the wall for support. So this will be a little bit closer to a variation that you might do in the middle of a class, especially if you don't have props with you. So for this variation, you can try with either the feet touching or the feet hip distance apart. It's your choice. Feet hip distance apart might be a little bit more stabilizing. Feet touching will be a little bit easier to engage the inner thigh muscles. So your choice. And then you can bring the hands to the heart, and you're welcome to keep the hands at the heart in chair pose, especially if you are recovering from any shoulder injuries. Now, keeping the knees parallel, keeping the knees straight forward, start to sit your hips back. Good, so the movement is coming from the hips, not the knees. Now, start to lengthen the low back, broaden through the chest. Good, breathing here, hug your core in. And then sending the weight back so that it's highly concentrated in your heels. And if you'd like to, you can bring the arms with you. Coming into a more active variation, even the fingertips here are active, but you're not holding on to any tension in the jaw or in the face. So softening where you can, but still getting really active here. Breathing. Nice. Feeling that heat building in the body. Again, smiling really helps with this pose. Maybe you even lift the toes here for an added challenge. Good, breathing. I know I'm already sweating. Holding for 3. Another breath for 2. And then standing up, bringing the hands to the heart. So the next variation that we're going to try is going to be with a half sun salutation. So this really is a great add-on when you're warming up your body and about to start your yoga practice. So standing in Utkatasana, mountain pose, feeling your feet hip distance apart. So in this variation, I'm going to cue it with hip distance apart, but if you prefer the feet together, absolutely, by all means, do the version that feels best for you. Good, when you're ready, lift your arms up, start to sit your hips back, coming into chair pose. Good, creating space for the low back here. And that might mean bringing the tailbone in towards the pubis. Good, using your hips here to guide you a little deeper. Lifting up through the chest. Nice, breathe. Exhale, fold forward and down. Nice, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your hips back, lift your arms up, chair pose. And then inhale, lift it all the way up. Bring the hands through prayer at the heart. And then down to Utkatasana. Let's do that a couple more times. We'll speed it up a little bit. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, sit the hips back, chair pose. Inhale and exhale to fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit the hips back. Lift up, chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, sit the hips back, chair pose. And then releasing down into your fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit the hips back, lift it up, chair pose, Utkatasana. Good, feeling so strong here, ready to conquer the day. Inhale, lift it halfway and all the way up. And then we return to Utkatasana. So after all that work, you may notice that your heartbeat starts to get pretty energized. It might start to speed a little bit. So remembering to take breaks when you need, letting the heartbeat slow. But after adding Utkatasana, chair pose, into your practice, you will feel energized. You will feel warm. You will feel ready to take on the day. So thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know which version of today's chair pose was most helpful for you to feel rooted, feel grounded, feel activated, and feel strong. Leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like the video if you found it helpful and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you again on the mat next time.